Mary and Joseph had a baby. It was a special baby, an illegitimate baby. A baby born out of wedlock, a baby born in poverty. Not unlike many children in our town and in our county and in our state and our country today. But this baby was no normal baby. He was a very special little boy. And not only because they say he was silent on his first night. I don't buy that, you know. I don't buy silent nights. I don't know how many of you have ever been in a house with a newborn, but there are very rarely any moments of silence. And I think in the chaos, we can all recognize something of our own journey, something of our own lives filled with noise and busyness and people running about. Just like here on the stage this morning, we all wear different costumes. We all play different roles. And as I looked at each of your children this morning, I kept thinking, which one is me? Who am I this Christmas season? Am I the angels coming to bring the good news, washed in light and beauty, or a little bit scary, as Keith reminded us? Am I the pregnant woman who has no idea how she's going to do what God asked of her? Am I the not yet husband, the not yet father of this special baby who will be mine, but not really, trying to figure out my place in the family? Am I a shepherd, a social outcast on the hills, just doing my job in loneliness and silence, shocked by something amazing that God had planned? Am I the little sheep being led about, being cared for out in the wilderness? The sheep who need to be led by the shepherd to the manger to meet the baby. Am I the wise girl? Very rarely. Well, wise in the sense of smart aleck, maybe, but not so often wise in the sense of wisdom. Sometimes I feel like those astrologers, astronomers, stargazers, magi, whatever you call them. I feel like I'm walking through the darkness, looking up, looking for a star, looking for a sign, waiting, watching, hoping, believing that it could be, that it can be, but not sure that it can be with me. Bringing whatever gifts I have, not sure if it's enough, not sure if it can be used, but willing to give freely. There are lots of characters in the story this morning, and there are lots of people in this room who are all coming from a different place, a different family background, a different state or even country, a different tradition when it comes to Christmas. Many of us may disagree, actually, about what this season really means, about what it's all about. But I think when we look at the children, we can see that they were preachers this morning, don't you think? They were the ones who the prophet Isaiah says brought the good news, just like the people of Jerusalem in the old days. And just as the prophet encouraged our kids today raise their voices loud and clear, they weren't timid, they weren't scared, and they said to all of us, look into the manger, look at your God, look at him, look at her, look around you. As we watch the shepherds care for their flocks and lead the sheep to the place where the Christ child was born, perhaps we were reminded of when and where and who led us to God. Was it a special holiday or a program for you? Or perhaps it was coffee with a friend or a stranger. And are we even there yet? That's children's favorite question this time of year, isn't it? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Many of us long to experience God, but we are still waiting to connect. Some of us doubt that Christmas miracles do happen. We're busy with our thoughts, trapped in our minds, making lists, staying busy, go, go, go. Not lists about who is naughty and who's nice, but lists of all the reasons that a God of abundant love and grace and mercy is an impossibility. Many of us see the pain and the suffering in our world, and we don't have to look far to find poverty and homelessness, unemployment or underemployment, illness, and even death. There is plenty of sadness all around us. In our very own town, we can witness selfishness and callousness, people more concerned with their own to-dos and their welfare than with the welfare of their neighbors. And we could begin to believe that the baby Jesus did not come, or that his coming did not make a difference. But God did not humble God's self, taking the form of a helpless human baby to show us a way that leads to the life that we have now. God came in a way to show us a salvation, a path to a different way of living and a different way of being, a path to a life of deep connectedness, to joy and to peace within us, not just within the Christmas season. And that path, it's not only in our minds or in our intellect. It's not only through actions of goodwill or good neighborliness. It's not through wrapping ourselves up in shiny paper as if we don't have any faults or wounds or doubts or fears. God knows us, each and every one of us, all of it. The beautiful, shiny parts and the darker parts that we prefer to keep secret. God knows every inch of us and loves us still. Not in spite of our wounds, but because God uses those wounds to bring glory and transformation, new life like a baby, new life like a resurrected Savior rising from the tomb. Our faults make us human, and our faults make us real. What God needs is real people sharing their real dreams and their experiences. Today's responsive song, Go Tell It on the Mountain, is a Negro spiritual. It survived times of slavery. It was sung by people who dreamt of freedom and people who lived with a great amount of suffering. Most spirituals are about grief and loss. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, a long way from home. These spirituals, they're dark. They're full of lamentation, of grief, of loss and suffering. And in amongst this huge mountain of dark, painful music, we find this one song, Go, Tell It on the Mountain. It sounds like a church song, like any other church song, filled with joy and shepherds and angels. But this song was sung by slaves. And it wouldn't have survived today without one special family. You might not have ever heard of them, I hadn't. The John Wesley Work family. John Wesley Work the first was an African-American choir director in Nashville, Tennessee, shortly after the Civil War. He was infatuated with the music that was sung on plantations during slavery, and he traveled about trying to capture and recreate that music. He traveled globally with a choir of singers. And John Wesley Work had a son, whom he also named John Wesley Work II. John II was a singer. He also collected spirituals, and he became a professor of history. He arranged that song, Go Tell It on the Mountain, for choirs. And he had a son, John Wesley Work III. John III visited elderly former slaves during the Great Depression. He wanted to document that period in history. He wanted to save the gems before they were lost so that we could sing them today. He added a new stanza. He rearranged the music and he published it with this quote. As an unknown slave revealed his own prayers and faith, he had little knowledge that the inspiration he had felt, probably the only thing of value he had ever possessed, would eventually touch millions around the world, over the hills and everywhere. The slaves can do it. The shepherds can do it. Even our own children can do it. So what are we waiting for? It's time to share the real dream of Christmas, of miracles, and of God with us. May it be so.